Hello, beautiful ladies, and welcome to today's video, where we're going to be doing another video in my series, Why I Love My Conservative Life. And today we're talking about community. Since becoming more open about being conservative, I have found that I am so much more a part of a community that I really didn't have when I was just kind of floating around and not being as open about my views. And being part of a community is so important and it is so special. It makes you feel like you're really a part of something more than anything I've ever experienced. And I just love the idea that as a conservative woman, I have found that I am a part of a bigger community. And people who are conservative are more ready to be a part of a community and to welcome others into their community. And I'm not saying that if you're not conservative, you don't have a community. That is definitely not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that as I've embraced being conservative more, I have found that being part of a community is a really big part of that. And it's part of the reason that I absolutely love being conservative, is that I do have this community and this support system. And that's part of the reason why on my channel, I'm trying to create a community for conservative women, because naturally, we're looking for one. And it's been really hard in today's day and age to find other women who want to be part of a community, because conservative women aren't really allowed to speak out and say that that's what they believe. So it's been a really cool experience to see how we have been creating a community here on my channel. And just that being conservative generally has given me the chance and the opportunity to participate in community, which is so important and makes life so much more special. So I'm really excited to share a few of my reasons for why being conservative has made community something that's such an important part of my life. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the women in my life who have made having a conservative community so special. So since quarantine has started, I have had a number of Zoom calls with a big group of my friends. I've had the opportunity to get a group of women together. We all happen to be conservative, and we all just share what we've been up to. We're all really invested in each other's lives. And I found that when I have been friends with conservative women, we have made such a huge effort to stay in touch and to follow up and to see how people in our lives are doing. And we can all share kind of what we're going through and where we're at. And we're all at similar stages in life. So we're getting advice from people who are going through something similar or who can offer a different perspective because they maybe already went through it. And we're all able to openly share our viewpoints without being afraid that somebody's going to cancel you in the friend group. And it is so beautiful, this friend group that I have discovered, because it's not to say that I don't have liberal friends, and it's not to say that when I was in my master's program and in college I didn't have friends, but I wouldn't call it a community. We were friends, we all hung out, we enjoyed each other's company, but it was just a different vibe because everyone was much more interested in individualism and interested in career or interested in their own lives. They weren't looking at everyone around them as almost a part of them. And when you're in a community, everyone is really watching out for each other and thinks to reach out and thinks to say, oh, I haven't talked to this person in a while. I'd really like to hear about their life. And it's just something that I've really, really valued since I have made more friends who are conservative. And it's something that I really value here. Even on my Facebook group, I have seen women become friends with each other like that. And it's incredible. And people looking to see if there's a way that they can learn from other people in the group and if they can make friends. P.S. If you want to join my Facebook group, please feel free to join. If you go to my Facebook page, it's just right there. It's at the top. But it is something that I have loved. It's something that I am so glad that we're creating here. And having that community of conservative women is something that I really, really value. Number two is something that I have really noticed in conservative communities. So conservatism believes in families and family structures and the nuclear family. And if you have a family structure, if that's something that's a part of a life goal, then you are going to inevitably be part of a community because you want your kids to have friends. You want to live across the street from your family friends. You want to have people over for dinner so you can socialize. And there's a lot more of a feeling of we're all living near each other. We're all watching out for each other. We all have similar goals. And so we understand that it's not just about each person, it's about us as a group. And it's just a wonderful feeling to know that there's somebody 3 blocks away from you who, if you called on them to watch your dog while you go out of town, they'll say yes. They wouldn't even question it. And it's something that we've really seen in our community in Omaha. It's of course our Jewish community, is that the people here are all friends with each other. They're all watching out for each other. It's been really hard during quarantine because we all depended on each other, and then we couldn't really see each other. We couldn't ask each other for help. And so because conservative people really do look toward the family structure as a guide for life, you have communities that are built on families and are built on people growing up together and are built on kids playing in the street, and their neighbor, if the parent needs to cook, then the neighbor is watching out for them and making sure that if a car is coming, they can tell them to go back home or get off the street. That's just an example of how special community is. And when you have millennials, they don't have a natural community. They don't have a natural pull toward community for a lot of reasons. Like, career is the most important thing, not the people in your life. Or because everyone is transitory and people know that they're going to be leaving and moving and traveling. And so it's more about, okay, my day-to-day experiences than it is about my life as a whole. And so being part of a community is something that really does give you meaning and value. Another really cool thing about being part of a community is that there are so many generations that you're actually living with and around. You have the people who are older, you have the people who are maybe one stage past you in life, you have children, you have teenagers. You're surrounded by people who aren't just exactly who you are and exactly at your stage of life. And when you're single and a millennial and you're living on your own, you're not going to be around people who are in a different stage of life than you are, because that's just not the people who would be around you. And you're not going to see children every day. And you're not going to see, your elderly neighbor who wants to bring you cookies or you want to bring them cookies. You're not going to have access to that same view of life and that same view of the stages of life. And it's so important to be around people who are older than you are, because they can offer you inspiration, they can offer you guidance, they can offer you lessons that they've learned and that you can pick up from them. And that's something you really miss out on when you're not part of a community with all the different generations. And then you're not around kids who really just give you hope for the future. They kind of give you this view of innocence and this hope that you care about their future because you want them to succeed. They're a part of your extended family. And it's just life affirming to see children running around and playing and knowing that they're going to do something special, even if it's not, oh, everyone in the world knows who they are, but they're gonna have children of their own in the future. And it's just so important to have those people around you as a community as you get older. And I think that being a conservative has offered me that opportunity, because the people around me are having kids. The people who are my age who are not conservative are not married and are living on their own and are pursuing their careers. And not that that's a terrible thing, it's just that's generally where their lives are headed. But the people who are conservative who I know are married and are all having kids and are all building a community around that. And that is so exciting. First of all, I'm so excited because I love seeing the people around me have joys, getting married, having children. It's just so, so exciting. I mean, those are huge life stages and steps, but it also is just a wonderful feeling to know that we're all growing our community together, our families, and then of course extended our communities. The next thing I want to talk about is that when you're part of a community, you really do have a built-in support system. And I touched on this a little bit earlier, but being part of a community means that you have people you can count on. And it's not just friends and family, but it is just an extended group of people that you can reach out to. And I know that when I had friends before I was conservative and had a lot of conservative friends, I'll be honest, I really couldn't count on them a lot of the time. Just because when you're an individual, you are not concerned as much about the people and the community and what it would do for the community if you weren't helping. How if you're not going to help, then it's going to be hard for other people to help you when you need them. And that's not to say that I didn't have friends who went out of their way. I have friends who really, really did go out of their way. So I don't want to make it sound like my friends who are not conservative were never there for me. That's not true, but it is a difference when you as a community are working as a team to support everyone. on the team and everyone is looking out for everyone. It's such a blessing when you know that everyone is trying to do the best they can so that everyone succeeds. And I really enjoy that part of being in a community. And the last thing I want to talk about is faith, because faith is something that's much more accepted by conservatives. It's something that's a big part of a lot of conservatives' lives. Not everybody who's conservative is religious, but a lot of us are. And faith is something that builds communities. When Jacob and I moved, the first thing we check is, okay, where's the Jewish community here? Because if there's a synagogue, that means there's going to be a community. And I think a lot of people of different faiths feel the same way, that they can find a community based off of other people who share their faith. And you really do see all of the things I'm talking about when you go to synagogue or you go to church. Everything I'm talking about being conservative is even more amplified in faith-based communities, I think. I think that faith-based communities are even more of an example of, okay, everyone's there to support each other. You're going to be watching out for my kids. I'm going to be watching out for your kids. And I am so, so grateful for that part of my life, because being Jewish, knowing that wherever I move, I will find a community, that is so comforting and it is so warm. And it's something that I feel so, so lucky to have, because without a community when you move to a new city, it's really scary. You have to depend, especially if you're working remotely. That's something that I've learned, is that if I'm working remotely, if I move, how do you make friends? A lot of people make friends through work. And all of a sudden you're in a situation where you can't make friends through work because you work from home. And finding a community when you are in a new place is really hard. And so it's something that I'm really grateful for, that we have our faith, that we can find a community that way. And then outside of my faith, I have all of these conservative friends who, no matter where we are our community, because we can all reach out and all of us can talk together and we're all sharing in each other's joys and helping each other through the hard times. So that's another reason why I absolutely love being conservative, is having community in my life. It enriches my life so much, it gives me so much joy, and it makes me feel like I have a safety net that is huge, and I love that. So let me know in the comments, do you have a community that you love? Are you enjoying being part of our community here? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Please subscribe to my channel and blog if you haven't already. Head over to my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook and follow me there. Hit that notification bell to get notified of all my new videos. Hit that like button. Please head over to classicallyabby.locals.com if you'd like to support my channel, see more of this content, and be part of our community. And I'll see you guys in my next video.